How you doing, people? This is Pastor Mac, Epiphany Fellowship, Philadelphia, PA. God bless you. It's good to be on this digital platform with you. I just wanted to share a couple of words with you about our Advent theme this year, which is Help is on the Way. And, Philadelphia is a densely populated city, but in most cities around the world, you'll have some semblance of law enforcement, and you may also have some semblance of emergency medical workers, right? Like EMT, EMS. And I'm reminded whenever I'm in a building or on the street and I see an ambulance pass by, and I'm wondering, should I pray? Somebody's in a bad situation. Somebody's either in the ambulance or the ambulance is going to pick someone up, and so someone who may be waiting to be picked up in an ambulance is hoping that they arrive safely and quickly, and their hope is in that first responder ambulance or those EMS, EMT folks, that they arrive quickly, and their hope is centered on, hey, if I can just hold on, help is coming, help is on the way. And that's where we find ourselves in every Advent season. People before Jesus' incarnation, they were hoping and waiting for generations for a promised one that was to come, one who would do what the scripture prophesied about, but also one who would probably meet their personal preferences as well. And so when that one came, people placed their faith in the one that would come. And when that one came, many did not receive him. Some still don't receive him. But for the small group of people that he impacted, and from then his good news message has spread it throughout the globe, those people have turned the world upside down. And so now we look forward to, after Jesus' life, death, burial, resurrection, he is coming again. And we have a sense of waiting and hoping for that day. But as we look back to his first coming, I'm reminded that God is the chief first responder. I'm thinking about, I like to watch nature shows, and there's this shrimp, believe it or not, that they call the mantis shrimp, scientists call it. And it has these like little balled kind of like arms, fist, and it can strike a crab or an animal like that with such quickness and force that the shell cracks, and then the shrimp then eats it, right? And sometimes I'm reminded of quick responses like a boxer, right, who is able to see a stance and see a punch coming and bob and weave, where the average person would not have the reaction time to be able to respond appropriately. Or I love watching football, and I used to play cornerback back in the day, and so when you see somebody line up on the line and an incredible talented receiver is coming at them, and they're able to backpedal and shift their hips quickly, and when a receiver gets out of a break, they can turn and bat the ball down or get an interception. People are impressed because of the reaction time. Well, God, our first responder, is so amazing that his reaction time is quick. By the time mankind falls in Genesis, by the time we get to Genesis 3, and God is announcing a curse on an opponent, the enemy, the serpent, in that he gives the first gospel, what some people call the proto-evangelion, and that is that even though the enemy will bruise the Messiah's heel, that Messiah will crush his head. And so that was a quick response to what man had done, which is disobeyed God and fallen in sin. And so we love God for his response. And what's even better than that, God is never caught off guard. He's never wondering what's going to happen or how to respond. As a matter of fact, response really only applies to those who are bound by time and space. Something happens in time and space, and then we react to it. God is outside of time and space. He is the beginning and the end. So he technically doesn't even have to respond to what we've done. He has already set up a plan. We see that as early as Genesis 3. So in this Advent season, right, we want to have a measure of hope. Why? Because God is a responder, first, quick, and fast, right? So even throughout all of our mess ups, through all of our hard times, through sin that has impacted us from the outside, or from our own sin, or from attacks from our enemy, right? we love him and we cherish him. We have faith in him because of his ability to respond quickly. Because that we know that when we're in danger, help is on the way in natural circumstances, and especially and most of all in spiritual circumstances. Because when we were the quote unquote damsel in distress, God didn't just swoop down with a cape on, save us, put us on a safe cliff and leave us. He came, saved us, and now remains with us. And it's going to carry us through to his idea of completion and to what we should be. So have hope in an Advent season of what God did in his coming and in his second coming. And then even most of all, have hope because of the nature of who God is. He's shown his track record. He's proven of how he responds even when we mess up. Let's have hope in that. As we maneuver through our Christian lives, as we look at this holiday season, we can be easily distracted with commerce and everything else. But there's hope because God said he was coming. He was going to send a Messiah. He came. He also said he's coming again. So we should hope in that as we wait for his return.